I loved Michael. I love Michael Jackson. I love him.
Not quite how you'd expect a doctor to describe his relationship with a patient.
How close was that relationship?
I was his closest friend. You see, indeed I was Michael's doctor. But I spent more time with him as a friend than taking care of him medically. I love Michael. I will mourn his loss forever. I am so sad that he's not here.
When did you accept that Michael Jackson was dead?
At UCLA. I can tell you, I tried the best I can. I was one man doing CPR, ventilating him with an ambu bag, and I did mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. But I wanted to help Michael wholeheartedly. I loved Michael.
You shut down your practice basically to go and work exclusively for him. Did you do that for the money? Because you were in debt? Were you starstruck? Were you seduced by fame?
Not at all. I've been Michael Jackson's doctor for 3 years before that time. I was not starstruck by Michael. If it's anything, I was so sympathetic to Michael because of the things I've learned about Michael, the things that he shared with me. I did not agree with Michael on using such a powerful sedative for sleep. So what I told Michael is that we have to get you off of that substance. However, I mean, call it ideal or non-ideal, Michael Jackson is not the guy you can just say, stop it.
But it's not a treatment for insomnia. No matter what he said to you, no matter how he begged, no matter how hard it is that he is Michael Jackson asking you, the truth is, and it's the thing I don't know why you don't accept, is that you should never have given it to him. Ever.
Michael Jackson had a lot of doctors who treated him with Propofol. Conrad Murray was a doctor that treated Michael with Propofol, but with the intention of getting Michael to understand, I do not want you using this substance again. And I succeeded. You may not have liked...
But you didn't succeed, though. He died.
Let me finish. Maybe I'm not making this point very clear.
Oh, I'm hearing you, but you're not accepting that you thought you were doing the right thing by trying to get him off it, but still using it. Frankly, you should never have given it to him in the first place.
Listen to me. If I want to blackmail Michael Jackson, it wouldn't take that phone call. It would be far worse than that. It would shatter the world. Okay?
What do you mean by that?
Just what I said. When he said to me, if I don't go to rehearsal, I'm going to lose everything. I was already informed that Michael Jackson was over $40 million in the hole and climbing. When I saw how desperate he was, and I knew how much of a destitute he was, and what he was facing if he did not do this, it all, again, fell in my heart.
But you're not his accountant. You're his doctor.
I am not his accountant. I'm not his accountant, but I'm just trying to tell you, when I put the whole situation together, I was very concerned for Michael.
Murray gave in, and he says he gave Jackson a small amount of Propofol. And when he considered it safe to do so, he left the room for a short time.
What was that moment like when you walked into his room and saw he wasn't breathing?
Oh my God. I was stunned in the sense. I mean, initially, you know, what happened here? What happened?
Guilty of the crime.
What happened saw Conrad Murray sentenced to 4 years jail.
4 years.
The coroner found that Michael Jackson died from acute intoxication of Propofol, and that his body had enough Propofol in it that would be equivalent to someone having major surgery. How did that get into his body?
Well, this takes an education. And it has,
a simple explanation is...
very simple.
If you didn't put it there...
I did not give it to him.
Okay, so if you didn't put it there, who did?
Michael.
And again, I think the Deputy Coroner has pointed out that that is absolutely absurd.
No, it's not.
It would be almost impossible for him to come out of his sleep, inject the Propofol and be unconscious and indeed no longer breathing in the 2 minutes that you say you left the room.
One of the good things about the properties of Propofol is that it is so quick to act and it is so quick for the effect to leave you.
In 2 minutes, he's come out of his sleep, he's injected himself with Propofol that I'm assuming is handy to him to be able to do, and then he's gone back to sleep and blow me down, he's died.
I am saying that Michael Jackson died, unfortunately, from an accident based upon his actions.
Hand on heart, you don't believe that, do
what?
you? You made that up. That's just not true.
That's not the case.
Look, if you are his friend, you would not tell that story.
I was not present when Michael Jackson took matters in his own hand. Michael Jackson, as you have realized now, is a drug addict.
I've got to be honest and say, a court didn't believe you. Jurors didn't believe you. The judge said this was medical madness, that this was a homicide case, not even malpractice. Michael Jackson died because you killed him.
I did not kill Michael Jackson. I met Michael Jackson in his state, lifeless or not. I met him in a state that I did my best to help and to survive, to revive him. I mean, I'm giving instructions, they're doing CPR. I can basically say, you know, this is going to be so explosive. I'm telling you what I did.
But surely that...
I'm telling you what I did. It did
surely
not
that's like, what? Wouldn't you do that
it
afterwards?
It did not prevent me.
You have Michael Jackson on a gurney here.
Dr. Murray's behaviour that day concerned many, including the fact that he'd failed to tell paramedics he'd given Jackson Propofol.
Why not?
Because Propofol was not an issue based upon the treatment that I had given Michael.
But you told the paramedics about the other drugs. Why not mention that as part of what's occurred in the last few hours?
Some of the other things that I mentioned to the paramedics, the place was really, it was horrible.
But Propofol is the one drug that you probably would mention.
But Propofol had no effect because I understand Propofol, I use Propofol, and if Propofol is totally gone, there's no reason...
As it turns out, it was the drug that killed him. That's what the coroner found he died from that.
But it was not related to what I had given him.
Do you speak to Michael?
Have I spoken to him?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I have. The last time Michael spoke to me, this was the day when the verdict came for the civil trial. Michael touched me. He put his hands on my shoulder and he touched me and he spoke to me. Michael speaks to me. He does.
What does he say?
It's too emotional to go into, understand. Just too emotional.
What do we make of a man who slept with a dolly and had a urinary bag attached to him? What do we make of that?
Michael, I'm going to be I'm fair and I'm open. And let me just say that Michael is not a perfect man, by far. Michael has a huge dark shadow. Michael slept with dolls, yes. Is that normal? No, it's not normal. But if you understood the history of Michael as a child and the things that he has encountered in life, and you're willing to listen, you probably wouldn't judge him.
Do you believe he's a pedophile?
I am not prepared to answer that question. Not now. And I'll tell you that the reason why, because my interview with you is quite candid and honest, and I would not make up or fabricate anything. But
as a friend, as somebody that was his closest friend, I would have expected you to say absolutely not.
Well, sometimes expectations are not always satisfied. But one thing I'll tell you is this. I may have formed an impression of an individual based upon certain things that I have seen or encountered.
The reason I'm pressing you is because by saying what you're saying, are you deliberately muddying the waters here? Because that's what you're doing. You're leaving it unclear about your thoughts. Is that fair to Michael Jackson? Or do you have something that you know?
I'll never be unfair to Michael, and I'm not here to destroy Michael. You've asked a question, and I'm not prepared to answer it. Not now.
What responsibility do you take
for his death?
Yes.
None.
None. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Nothing that I gave Michael Jackson should have killed him.